Today's video will go over key pieces of proof that support belief in Allah as the one true God. Allah is the name of the being who created heavens, earth, and everything else. The Quran says that we know this naturally, that God is our creator and the provider. This knowledge is like a promise that is inside every single person. But as humans, we have forgotten about this promise. Even though we can remember this promise, it's still in our hearts and souls. If we are reminded about this promise, we feel a strong connection to it. It's a connection just like a baby feels towards his or her mother. When we realize that Allah is our creator and the true provider, it makes us feel complete. The Quran also says that this inner knowledge is so strong that we will be held accountable for it on the judgment day. The Quran talks about a day when people made a promise to Allah that He is their Lord. Quran states in Surah Al-Araf, if you look at it, verses 172, 174, before every single person decided to come to this world and decided to take test of life, we testified that God is our true Lord. So God asked us, am I not your Lord? And we all said, yes, you are our Lord. God did this so we are able to not say on Judgment Day that we didn't know, we were just following our ancestors, especially when it comes to worshiping idols. God is making it clear that people can understand and they follow the right path. So the question may come up, how do we know that God exists if we can't see or touch Him with our own eyes? People have the ability to understand things they can't see or touch. For example, gravity. Gravity always existed, but it wasn't until Sir Isaac Newton came along that we understood the law of gravity and how everything is affected by it. Now, even though we can't see gravity, we know it's real because it explains everything that happens around us. This is how we're able to understand things we can't see or touch. When you study the world around you, we notice that everything is made with such care and thought, and there's like a lot of wisdom and order in this world. All of this shows us that there has to be a creator who's very wise and powerful. And this is just an undeniable fact. And without it, we can't truly understand the world. The Quran says that belief in God is like a light that helps us understand the world. And I'm paraphrasing this. Without it, the world would be dark and meaningless. So if you look at Surah An-Nur, verse 35, it says, belief in God is like a light that shines in the heart of a person, and it's like a lamp in a glass that shines brightly. The light comes from a special tree that gives off oil, and it doesn't need a fire to shine. And God uses this light to guide people, and also God knows everything and He treats each person the way they deserve. Now there's also proof in history and God's existence. God wanted to make sure that no one could deny His existence, so He chose a person named Adam to be the first human and also the first prophet as well. Adam directly heard from God and saw His angels. This way Adam could tell others about God and the afterlife. Now, even after Adam died, his children and their children would know about God and the afterlife, so that people throughout all time, in all places, and in all generations would never forget about God. So if you look at Quran, it says Adam and Eve were created. Angels and jinns had to bow down to them to show that being important is not about being made out of fire or being made out of light, but it's about obeying God. However, one of these jinns, whose name was Iblis, disobeyed God and refused to bow down. And after this, God put Adam and Eve in a big garden where they have everything they needed, but they couldn't go near that one tree and eat from a fruit from that tree. So God told them not to eat it and warned them that Iblis would try to come and make them eat it. So that's exactly what Iblis did. He came to them, pretended to be their friend, and said that secret to living a forever life is in that fruit. Adam and Eve wanted to eat the fruit and gave in to the temptation. This showed that people have a hard time controlling their desires. Adam felt ashamed and turned to God. Seeing this, God blessed him with urge to apologize and taught him the most suitable words for the apology, and then forgave them. Now, this story shows that people will be tested by their egos and desires, and also teaches a very important lesson on remorse and forgiveness, as God forgave Adam and Eve. You can read the entire detail in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 34 to 37. And these are just a few instances to prove God is real. And it is clear from what we talked about that God really exists. And people learn about God from their family, their ancestors, and both the things we can see or cannot see and the things we can touch or not touch show that God is real. And both physical and spiritual world show that God is real. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I'm going to talk about belief in afterlife. So tune in for that. Wa akhiru tawana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.